Had a great conversation today with a nice 87-year-old man about the Mahto baptismal record. I gave it to him to look at. He saw it. He kind of raised an eyebrow and he says, you know what, this doesn't have Jesus on it. And, they took issue with that. And it was like, that makes sense. Yeah. And we had a discussion as to why it didn't. And I said, all it says is that so-and-so, was fully immersed and was raised again and is now covered by the blood of the Most High's Son. I should have, worded it that way, but I didn't. But I explained to him that, there's some people out there who don't believe that Jesus is the Most High. There's some people out there that do believe that. So how do you not alienate them? You don't use specific names. I personally believe his name is Yahuwah, his son Yahusha, and then you have the Ruach HaKodesh. That's my personal belief. But guess what? This chief gave no religious test to be a part of the Mahto tribe. That would be contrary to the Republic. No man can tell another what laws they must live under. And on that topic, since the USA corporate entity, according to the Emergency Bankruptcy Act of 1933, is actually in fact a church. And that's why you're watching people in black robes stand up when they name the all caps dead entities. Guess what? You can't force me to be a part of your church. Show me where. Nor can you force my people to be a part of your church. However, again, I'm not telling my people you have to jettison U.S. citizenship and, make sure whatever, you're correcting your status. That's a misnomer, okay? Your baptismal record proves that you have a different Most High, that we do not recognize their dates of arrival. Our dates are 9 months prior. Why? Jeremiah 1:5, it says that I knew you in the womb. That's the date your soul arrived on earth. And an all caps name claims that they are trafficking the soul. That's why they put your soul, S-O-L-E, print on a piece of paper. It's called an ecclesiastical deed poll, and they send that to the Vatican. It's on baby blue eggshell paper. Why? Because it's part of their canon laws. Why are canon laws positive law in the United States? How could that be? It's because you're part of their church, fool. That's why you got someone in a black robe that stands up. And they say, all rise. You got to raise the dead. And then when they call a name and you stand up, you don't know any better. You think you're just a law-abiding individual. And I'm just assuming it's not an offense against another man or woman. That's a criminal case. You've harmed somebody. But if you haven't harmed somebody, it's a commercial court. Don't overthink it. It's an all caps dead entity name. Could have called yourself Mickey Mouse. I chose Chief Mahto. Why? Because that's a title that I use as the chief servant of my people for the Mahto tribe. The actual thing in Idaho, you can go look it up. Secretary of State is Mahto Ministries, doing business as the Mahto tribe. An unincorporated association of what? American Indians. As defined by what? Government Accountability Office Styles Manual, Section 5.23 to 5.3, defines an Indian as an Alabamian, Hoosier, Alaskan, Montanan, Idahoan. That is the American who's welcome to come into our nation, because we only recognize one color. American. See? How did you become a U.S. citizen? Stop and think for a minute. You got a piece of paper next to you whose name's at the very top. It's an all caps name. It's called a state. They created it. It's their property. Go look on the back of the Social Security card real carefully, where it looks like it's a signature line. It says authorized user, fool. That's yours to use on their monopoly board. That's your chit to get on the game. That's what we teach our members. Here's when you're in there, you got to use their stuff. You got to pay taxes. You got to make sure you do it this way, properly, in honor. But when you're in the private, when you're inside of our villages, we operate according to the common law and exclusive equity. We have pretty much close to the same procedures that they do, but we do things a little bit differently. Why? Because we're not the same people. We're Americans, but we don't identify as U.S. citizen public servants. Once we clock out from the U.S. citizen public servant job, boom, we're back to our status. Why? Because we walk around with our Mahto coins once you're a member. We don't use graven images. And that's artwork that's on the coin. It's not a graven image. You don't bow down to Mahto. You don't bow down to a bear. You don't bow down to anything other than that flag. That flag represents Yahuwah, the Most High. My name for it. Whatever your name is, great. But what you're saying is that flag on the inside of the village wall means I am a separate nation when I walk in there. I'm one of we, the people, so to speak, one of the indigenous. And we are not at war with any governments. The U.S. citizen is at war with the corporate USA. Go read the Trading with the Enemy Act. That's your guys' society, your business. We're not part of that nonsense. When we're inside our inner walls, it's to trade with people. But come on over and trade with us. We're not here to harm anybody. We're not here to do anything outside of the law. So I hope you find this message in the spirit of love in which it is offered. Shalom.